Okay, we are back. And in the last video, we set up our database by including the fields. We added fields in Datasheet View and Design View. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add some input masks to some of these field names. And then I'm going to enter one record and then stop the video because it becomes a little repetitive. So I'm going to go in my Design View for my input masks. And again, an input mask is a way of telling Access that you want a certain field entered a specific way. So, for example, if I go and click right on state, okay, in this database, I want to make sure that whoever is entering the data, they only use the state abbreviation, which is 2 characters. So once you click on state, all the way at the bottom where it says field properties, there's a lot here. What we're going to focus on right now is the field size. Right now, the field size says 255 characters. So that is what short text by default refers to, 255 characters. If I just want 2, I'm going to change my field size from 255 to 2. And there's the bell. So I already set my state field size to 2. Let's go ahead and click on zip code. Okay, zip code, usually we recognize a zip code by 5 digits. Um, a full zip code includes a hyphen and then 4 more digits as an extension. So if we want that kind of format, what we're going to do is we're going to go down where it says input mask and click. When you click, you're going to see on the far right hand side, you're going to see ... So let's click this little button here, and a dialog box should pop up. But first, we need to save this table. We're going to save yes. So as you can see, there are already a lot of defaulted input masks. And because we're using zip code, I'm going to go down and click on zip code. And if you want, it gives you a chance to try and see what it's going to look like. So when you first click in the box to enter your record, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be all set up for us. So we just got to type the numbers. So I'm going to go and click next. Oh, let me go back. And this is a code up here. We're not going to touch this for the purpose of this class. You can, if you want, change the placeholder character. If you wanted to change it to an asterisk, you can test it out here and see what it looks like. So say we want to keep that. I'm going to go next. And the next screen is going to ask, how do you want to store your data? It doesn't really matter, but for the purpose of this course, we've already decided that we're going to save with the symbols in the mask. So let's click the top radio button. And then finally, you're going to finish. And when you finish, you're going to see a code is placed inside of where the input mask is, and we're going to let that be. The last one we're going to do is phone number. So same process, we're going to click the input mask and click the button, save the table. And instead of using zip code, you guessed right, we're going to be using phone number. So we're going to try it. This is what it's going to look like. Go next. Let's be consistent. I'm going to use asterisk. Next. With the symbols in the mask. Next. And finish. Notice the code placed within the input mask box. That's all we're going to do in terms of input masks and changing field sizes. So now we can go ahead and go back to our datasheet view. Of course, we're going to save. It doesn't look like anything was applied, but when we start typing, you're going to see the input masks really come to play. So for the first record, because a complete set of information, which is a row, is considered a record, and each column is considered a field. So we're going to type in Mr. And I'll do my name, Michel. I'm tabbing over, and I'll type my last name. And then for the purpose of this exercise, again, I'll just make up an address. I'll say 14587 First Street. City, let's just say, we'll say Rochester. We'll say Michigan, and notice that state was the one that we changed the field size to 2 instead of 255. So let's try to spell out Michigan. It doesn't let me. So what I'm going to do is go back and just capitalize and say MI for state. Zip code, we can see our input mask into play here. I'm just going to make up zip code. You'll also see that phone number is going to have an input mask when we start typing this in. And I'll go with 586 and then make up the rest of the information. So that is one way that you can enter records into your database. Again, you would use this view if you had a short database to complete. If you had a larger database and other people were going to add information, you'd want to use a form. For this class, it's not mandatory, but real quick, I'll just show you how to get to the form view. So using terms that I used earlier in the trimester, this is a door that is open. So I have one door in my hallway. So I'm going to close my door because I only want one door open at a time. So again, you can open your door, you can close your door. So if I want to create a form, I'm going to make sure that my address practice table is selected once. I'm going to go up to create. And an easy way to set up a form is to use a form wizard. It's going to take me through steps to develop the kind of form I want. So I'm going to go to form wizard, and it's going to ask me what fields I want to include. If I click the double arrow, all fields will be selected, which I want. Next. For the layout, we're going to keep the default settings. So we'll click next. And what title do you want for the form? We'll do address practice, and then we'll just put in form. And then we're going to open the form to view or enter information. So let me finish. As you can see, since I already did a field in my record in my table, it automatically links to what the form is going to do. So for instance, if I go ahead and add another record in here and close my form, it's going to update within my table. So it's all interrelated. So if I go down here to the bottom, click next record, I can go ahead and start typing my information. So let's just say Mrs. Susan, and then we'll say last name Miller, and she lives on 555 Madison Avenue. And the city, we'll say Birmingham, Michigan. Again, look how small the field size is because we only have 2 characters. Zip code, you still see your input mask. And phone number, we'll make one up for the phone number. So if I go ahead and close this door because I only want one door open at a time, first notice that you added a door within your hallway. So if I double click my table, you're going to see that that record that I added in my form is also going to be added to my table. So I'm going to end the video now. I'm going to go ahead and enter 2 more records for this database, and then I'm going to show you how to query and create labels and table reports. See you next video.